What is up, guys? Tommy from SFJ Effort. So today we're going to talk about locking hubs, and more specifically, why I don't have them anymore. So for those of you who are new to the channel, that's my Jeep. It's a Jeep JK 2-door, and I've got 1 ton, so I've got a Dana 60 in the front. Now, one of the reasons that a lot of people like the 1 ton swap, one of the reasons that I personally did the 1 ton swap was I really like the idea of having locking hubs. So for those of you who don't know what a locking hub is, I have one of my, kind of a piece of my old one right here. So here is pretty much what you see when you look at the outside side of a locking hub. So you have this piece, and you can lock it or unlock it. Well, this kind of goes to my point that I'm going to get to, that I can't even lock this with nothing attached to it. But so it's great. You can unlock your hubs so that you pretty much have your wheels aren't moving any of the drivetrain while you're street driving, and you just hop out, lock them real fast, and then you can go wheeling. And if you break ring gear, axle shaft, U-joint, whatever, you can unlock that hub and you're not going to move anything in there. And I was super stoked about that. So I got to building my Dana 60, kind of wanted to, get ahead of some stuff that I figured might break. And I wanted to replace the factory Ford locking hubs, because people say, oh, they break very easily, which, I've seen some people wheel pretty hard on them, but and those were great. I locked them, unlocked them, locked them. They worked perfectly fine. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get ahead of this. And so pretty much there's only 2 locking hub options for the Dana 60. There's the Warren locking hubs and the mile marker lock hubs. Warren has they've both been making locking hubs for a long time. But at the time, the mile marker ones had just come out. And I don't know, I guess I wanted to deviate from basic JK on 40s, and I'm like, you know what, locking hubs is where my Jeep is going to be different than everyone else, so I went with the mile marker ones. And I'm not going to lie, they caused a lot of headaches. I'm not sure if I just got a bad one or whatever, but like, I put them in, I greased them, did everything by the book, exactly how mile marker wants you to do it. And at first they worked great. They would lock easily, unlock easily. And then they started getting a little crusty, so I'm like, all right, well, let's see. So pull them apart, and the seal is just not, it's like a paper thin little seal they put behind the locking hub, and you can clearly see where that seal is just not doing its job and going sudden in. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Clean it out, new seal, do all that, and it just starts getting really, really hard to lock. And then, yeah, it just starts getting really hard to lock, to the point where I'm having to put pliers on this to lock my hubs, and I'm like, this is just not fun. They would always unlock fine, but locking was just a pain. One side more than the other side. But they were both kind of doing it. And then finally got to the point where pretty much I was out wheeling and my hubs just started randomly unlocking on their own. And I was like, yeah, no, this isn't happening. So I've always seen crazy builds do what's called drive slugs. So for those of you who don't know what a drive slug is, well, drive slug or drive flange, there's no more locking hub here. So pretty much you have, I'll put pictures from the East Coast Gear Supply website, but you have your cap, you have kind of a plastic sort of nylon spacer, and then you have a pretty much just straight slug. It's a piece of splined metal. So this is pretty much always connected. So, well, doesn't that defeat the purpose of having, Dana 60 outers that you can unlock if something breaks? Not really. So I've had to do unit bearings on this, so I've had to fully take out the locking hubs before. And one of the things I absolutely hated was, so this is the innermost piece of the locking hub. So this would get absolutely wedged in there. And then if I ever had to pull it out or take apart that whole thing, this is just a pain in the ass to get out. I've spent 40 minutes trying to get this thing out before. The drive slugs, let's say something breaks and I want to disconnect it as I would unlock the hub. So all I have to take off these screws, pop this off. The spacer sort of seats into this, so that comes off with that. And then there's a piece that's sort of similar to this, but what East Coast Gear Supply did was they put threaded holes so you can thread a bolt in and then use that as leverage to get it out. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do the drive slugs. Some people said not to do it, you know, because the minimal amount of wear and tear extra it'll do. But honestly, I have absolutely loved them. Maybe if I went with the worn locking hubs, or if I did the forward ones with the RCV inners, I wouldn't have had to do this. But I have had zero complaints with drive slugs on a daily driver, even with the front auto locker. It's just, it's one extra thing not to have to think about. It's kind of nice being able to just like pull up to like some little trail that, you know, let's say I just want to get in the dirt. I don't have to get out, lug my hubs. I just throw it into four-wheel drive like I did when it was on Data 44s. Then I can just go have fun. I'm sure there's some negligible mile per gallon change, but I haven't noticed it. So pretty much what I'm trying to get to, now I'm sort of rambling on, is when you're building your tons, don't discount drive slugs. Especially if you like a selectable locker, then just go for it. Again, maybe if I had gone with Warren hubs from the beginning, because I know a lot of people with the Warren locking hubs and they've been nothing but happy with them. I know people with the Ford locking hubs with the RCV, like, that pretty much replaced, I guess, the weak part of it with RCV's part. They've had nothing but good things to say. But at least in my experience, I have just been extremely happy with my drive slugs, even on my daily driver that I drive. I mean, I'm a college student, this is my daily driver. I drive this thing to and from school every single day. All the time I'm going mountain bike and stuff that's 2-3 hours away, and I'm taking the Jeep, and it's been great. I've absolutely loved my drive slugs. East Coast Gear Supply made mine, and you guys, the noodle arms are getting tired. East Coast Gear Supply made a great product, and yeah, nothing but good things to say about my drive slugs. If something ever does happen to them, I'll be sure to tell you guys. But I mean, this is the stuff the guys on buggies with 43-inch dickies are running. I don't think my Jeep's gonna have any problems. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to, I guess, if you want to like the video, like the video. If you want to comment on the video, comment on the video. If you want to subscribe on the channel, subscribe on the channel. Apparently the YouTube algorithm likes that. I don't know how it works. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.